Let's talk about 5 powerful attitudes to master for success in love. Let me ask you this. Would you like to know how to go from feeling like you're awkward and undesirable to having women be like obsessed and addicted with you? Being able to have your pick of the beautiful women. That would feel amazing, right? The truth is, when you don't have these mindsets, these attitudes, it's very easy for women to feel uncomfortable and for women to go, no, I don't want to date him. However, when you do have these mindsets and these attitudes, she goes, holy cow, that man right there is sexy and I need to get to know him better. These are some of the things that may help her fall in love with you and want to spend the rest of her life loving you. So does that sound like something you'd be interested in? Well, good, because I'm about to share that with you right now. If you haven't yet, subscribe and ring that notification bell. My name is Melannie. I'm a Christian dating coach for men and creator of Attracting Lasting Love Academy. And these mindsets that I'm about to share with you, these are some of the things I share with my clients in my academy. That's why I'm the perfect person to share this with you. And I actually get a lot of questions about my academy. So I thought it would be fun to literally take part of this lesson in my academy and share it with you here today. Does that sound good? Does that sound exciting? All right, sit tight because I'm about to show it to you. You will notice that this was, obviously, I didn't film it today. And so the setup and equipment will be a little bit different. So if you notice a difference, that's why. Are you ready for these powerful attitudes and mindsets so you can be successful in love? Let's dive in. Are you ready to set yourself up for success? In this video, you're going to discover the right mindset to approach a potential relationship or even a date. When you're in the right mindset before you're in the situation, that's how you create a foundation for a healthy relationship instead of potentially pushing what could be your dream relationship away. Far too many people mess up the relationship in the first week. They get way too invested emotionally and try to push the relationship along too quickly. And this literally sabotages what could have been their dream relationship. This is why you always need to approach a new relationship, a potential relationship, with the right mindset. So how do you approach with the right mindset? First, let's start by talking about one of the best ways to protect your heart, which also helps you have that correct mindset. I have a saying that I want you to memorize. Do not marry her before you marry her. I'm going to just say that one more time. Do not marry her before you marry her. What in the world do I mean by that? It is very possible and not uncommon at all to marry someone emotionally before you are ever married to them physically. It's kind of similar to, have you ever heard someone who's looking for a new house and they find the house that they really, really want and they say something like, I see myself living there. I can see myself moving in and being happy there. Well, emotionally, in their mind, they kind of have already moved in. Emotionally, that's their home. This can also happen in relationships. Let me illustrate with a story. I have a friend who has so much to offer a woman and he deserves a good relationship. However, he marries her emotionally before he marries her, and he gets himself into all kinds of heartbreaking situations. Within the first few days, certainly within the first date, he has decided that this is the love of his life. He has found the one. He starts telling his family and friends, oh my goodness, I found the one. This is totally going to work this time. He is completely committed to the relationship before he even really knows her, and in his mind, they are well on their way to being married. Now, obviously, it's fun to dream, and you have to consider if there's potential here. But the problem is that he really doesn't know this gal, like, at all. He's infatuated, but he doesn't know her. So then as he starts to get to know her better, they start to realize that they aren't compatible and things just start to fall apart. Now, this is a normal part of the dating process. Sometimes you get to know someone and realize, this isn't going to work. However, he's already committed to her emotionally. So instead of this being a breakup or two people mutually saying, this isn't going to work, he's already married her emotionally. So emotionally, this is more like a divorce. This is him breaking up with the love of his life emotionally, and it's completely heartbreaking and it just wrecks him. And the whole reason this happens is because he goes all in emotionally, and he knows she's the one emotionally before he's taken the time to actually make sure and date her long enough to know that she's the one. This puts so much pressure on both you and her, and it pushes her away and sabotages what could be a really good relationship, because emotionally you've decided she's your wife when she's not, and that's going to push her away. It also puts too much pressure on you because you feel like you've got to make this work because you're the one. Now, that isn't to say that you shouldn't dream or imagine or think, wouldn't it be cool if this worked out? Or even, let's see if maybe this would work out. That's a healthy way to approach it. But just, oh my goodness, they're the one, that's not going to benefit you or her. Now, why do we do this? Honestly, this is something I have done in the past, so I totally get it. It's because we want someone to love us. You have so much love to give, right? And you want to share that with someone, and you want someone to see the real you and appreciate you. Those are all wonderful things, and that's exactly what you should have. You just need to make sure you pace yourself correctly. Otherwise, you're sabotaging the relationship. You don't deserve that kind of heartbreak. So make sure that you don't marry her emotionally before you actually marry her. Here's a little known fact. You can, in fact, fall in love with the wrong person. You can fall in love with a toxic person, or you can just fall in love with someone that you're not compatible with. It is 100% possible to fall in love with someone that's not right for you. Most of us grew up watching TV shows or fairy tales where you only fall in love with the right one, but that's not reality. That's not the way God set it up. This is why we have a responsibility to make sure we are approaching relationships with the right mindset. And that's what you're going to learn throughout this entire module. Something else you just need to be aware of, full disclosure, as you've been applying everything you're learning in this program, you're becoming a total heartthrob, okay? I'm going to be honest. You have literally learned the secrets of attracting a woman on the deepest level. And that means women are going to be attracted to you. And some of them are going to be toxic. Or some of them, maybe they're not even toxic, but they're not willing to put in the effort that you and your dream girl are. Those types of women are going to want you to settle. So it's very important that you keep your head on straight and make sure you find that dream girl instead of end up settling for someone else who's very attracted to you, but who isn't as committed to being the best version of themselves as they should be. So always make sure you're looking for the signs of the siren, as we've already discussed in a previous video, and make sure you take this mindset seriously and everything you're learning in this module, because it really does help protect you and set you up for long-term success so that you can have that lasting love. So, how do you approach a potential relationship or a potential date? You already understand now, don't marry her before you marry her, but how do you approach it? Another story to illustrate. I had a young man reach out to me not too long ago, and he was obsessed with finding the one. So much so that everywhere he went and everything he did, he was always looking to find the one. Is she the one? How do I find the one? He wanted to just hurry up and get into that relationship. What he didn't realize was, one, he was stressing himself out, and two, he was freaking all the girls out. It was very, very creepy to them because he was so obsessed on finding the right relationship. Here's the mindset shift he needed and that you should start practicing as well. Think of it kind of like shopping for a new car. You go to a couple of different car lots, see what it is you like. You test drive a few to see if this is the type of car you're looking for. You do a little bit of research to see, do I need a truck? Do I need a smaller car? What kind of gas mileage do I need out of this? And you start to get a feel for what kind of car you're actually looking for. And you kind of don't know if this is the car for you unless you test drive it and see if it works for you. After taking all of this into consideration, you can now make an educated decision, and you commit to an amazing car that has all your top priorities and that you absolutely love. The same is true with dating and getting to know new people. Don't rush in. Don't obsess. Instead, just get to know them a little bit. See if you think there's potential there. This is one of the reasons why you set your relationship goals at the very beginning of this program, so that you understand what your top priorities are. Then as you get to know someone, some people you'll like even more, and you'll be like, hey, maybe there's some real potential here. Other people you'll get to know, you'll be interested initially, and then you'll be like, you know what? I just don't really see this going anywhere. That's the natural dating process. But you haven't committed to anyone emotionally yet. That happens as you start to get to know each other, and as love grows and you start realizing, yeah, this is the person I want to commit to. Another way to think of it is like walking into like Baskin Robbins and saying, I don't know which flavor I want. Could I try that one, and that one, and that one? You try them and you go, yeah, that's the one I want. I'm committed to that one. That's all you're doing here. Because as Christians, we understand the value of having a happy marriage and family life, we tend to rush into the relationship far too quickly. This is one of the worst things you can do. If you want something to last a lifetime, you need to treat it with the respect it deserves. So instead of thinking, I'm going out with maybe my future wife, instead think, hey, I'm going out with a really cute gal, and I'm going to see if there's some potential there. I hope it goes into something more, but I'm just going to see. The simple act of approaching a relationship with this mindset is going to save you a ton of headache, a ton of heartache, and help you nurture a relationship instead of sabotage it. Now, a question I get asked frequently is, how long should you date before you're serious? Is it time to be serious or not? And the answer is, this actually isn't a question you should be asking me. This is something the two of you should be discussing together. You want to make sure that you're not in the infatuation stage. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a future video. You want to make sure you've taken the time to get to know each other and make sure you really think that this can work. However, it's something the two of you need to discuss as a couple. Start by asking yourself, do you want to be serious with her? Do you see potential here? When you look at your relationship goals, does she match up with your top priorities? And does it even sound fun? Sometimes we think, well, this relationship makes sense. But if it doesn't sound fun, who wants a relationship like that? So does it make sense? Does it sound fun? Does this sound like something you want to commit to? The last thing you want is to just slide into it and just say, well, we've been on like 5 dates, so we're probably a thing now. That's not how it works. Make an active decision about this. Then ask her what she thinks about it. This can be a little bit scary, and that's totally normal. If you're still seeing the signs she likes you, that's a really good sign. And realize that part of being a couple is talking about big things together, like, hey, I really like you. I'd like to date just you. What do you think about that? If you can't have a deep conversation on topics like this, then you're definitely not on the level where you should have a relationship with each other. Healthy relationships are about good communication. So honestly, sometimes you just have to embrace the nervousness, embrace the awkwardness, and just talk about it. Keep it light, but talk about it, and realize that this is actually a really, really exciting conversation. You can even try to get her thoughts beforehand by casually asking how long she thinks someone should date before they're serious. Or you can just come out and tell her that you really like her and you want to be exclusive, and see how she feels about that. The last thing I want to touch on before we wrap up this video is God's timing. I know I've mentioned this in a previous video, but I want to mention it one more time. Most of us don't particularly like to talk about God's timing because we want it to be our timing when a relationship works. That's totally normal and natural. Here's the truth though. God's timing really is perfect, and He never makes us wait unless it's for our ultimate happiness, a far greater happiness than we would have if we didn't wait. He knows everything that needs to be in place for you to have the ultimate joy and incredible love that He wants you to have. So sometimes the answer just is that we do need to wait on God's timing. But one of the biggest pieces to this puzzle that most people miss out on is realizing that God will not lead you you to the right person at the wrong time. So if you're not ready to be with that person, he's not going to lead you together, because that would mess up the relationship, right? God wants your dream girl to have her dream guy. And that's why you've gone to all the work to learn everything in this program and apply it. That's how you're showing God that you are ready. This is the piece most people miss. They just count on God to just make it happen without putting in the effort on their side. Now, thankfully, again, as you're applying everything you're learning, you don't have to worry about that, because you're being proactive so that you are the dream man of your dream woman. So yes, sometimes we do need to wait on God's timing, and sometimes it takes a moment for things to fall into place. But ultimately, you are doing your part by being here and applying these things. You're showing God that you are ready to absolutely love and adore his daughter. If you're concerned about God's timing and wondering what else you can do, I invite you to just pray and ask God, is there something maybe you overlooked, something you could tweak a little bit? He will certainly tell you and guide you. Sometimes the answer is just wait. Sometimes the answer is, hey, have you thought about trying this or trying that? Let's do a quick recap of everything you learned in this video. First, we talked about marrying her emotionally before you marry her. I want you to think for a minute. Have you ever done that in a past relationship? Are you maybe doing that with someone right now? Think back on that and be honest with yourself if that's something you do. Also, spend some time thinking about the new, better mindset you just learned. It's like test driving a car at first, right? As you train your mind to think that way, you are going to enjoy relationships so much more, and you're going to be more successful. Remember, this is not potentially your dream girl. Obviously, that's what you're hoping for. But right now, it's just you getting to know a really cute gal to see if it will work. Also, remember that you can fall in love with the wrong woman. This is why it's important to keep your relationship goals in mind and make sure you are remembering the signs of the siren so that you're ultra prepared. That is not something you should just learn once and forget about. That's something that you should keep up on. So if you need to re-reference that video in Module 1, make sure you do that. Lastly, remember that God's timing does matter. But as you show him that you are doing what it takes to be ready and ask him if there's anything else you can do, he will lead you together, because he wants the two of you to be together. He wants that lasting love for both of you. That's it for this video. When you're ready, I will see you in the next video where you'll discover how to overcome the fear of rejection. I'll see you over there. So, did you enjoy it? Did you like learning about these powerful tips? The truth is, this is just the tiniest little taste of what I share with you in my academy. I'm able to go so much more in depth on things that sometimes I even talk about on my YouTube channel, but I cannot go into as much depth, and I cannot share the strategies with you here that I can share with you there. So if you are someone who just wants the easy way, you don't want to have to piece it together yourself, you just want the answers up front. Is that you right now? If it is, if you are ready for ultimate success in love forever, then my academy is the place for you. You will not find anything else like this on the internet. So to learn more about how it works and how you can join me, just go to coachmelannie.com/masterclass. And I may or may not have a few surprises for you while you're there. So do it now. Don't wait. You don't want to risk losing it. Go now. coachmelannie.com/masterclass. There's a link in the description below and a link in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for watching, my amazing friend. If you enjoyed what you saw, tell me in the comments. Comment more if you enjoyed this topic and if you would like to see more videos. And be sure to share with a friend, because everyone needs to know these mindsets, right? A huge thank you to those of you who are so amazing with the super thanks. It warms my heart and truly helps. So if you have ever used the super thanks before or not and would like to use it for this video, it would mean a lot to me. So thank you. If you haven't yet, subscribe and ring that notification bell. And if you don't yet follow me on social media, there are links in the description below for that as well. Thank you so much again, my amazing friend, and have an amazing day. Let's talk about 5 powerful attitudes to master for success and bleh. Oh, I was really close. Okay, secret end of the video club. We need a special word for today. And I'd like to say that I came prepared, but I did not. Okay, here's a word. So in my last video, I mentioned I have a dog. Did I mention that in this video? No, I think that was a gaming video. Oh, never mind. Well, anyway, I have a dog, and a lot of people wondered what kind of dog I have. That may have been the gaming channel. Oh, well. My dog is a blue heeler, and he is a little bit of a princess, but he is absolutely adorable. Fabulous guard dog. Fabulous little buddy. So, in honor of him, why don't we make our end of the video word buddy? That's a good idea, huh? So if you're new here and you don't know how this works, there's just always a special word at the end of the video, and we're like the super awesome secret club nobody knows about. So comments, buddy, and never forget you're awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.